Creating an intro that sticks around in people's minds doesn't happen overnight. It requires a solid framework and a narrative, something that will make you feel something.
Everything changes every which way. You got to hold on to what you need. And if I hide myself away, how could I grow with you? We trust each other, always make things right. What is more important than loving someone? La 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 la.
What's up guys, my name is Angel Barkley and I talk about filmmaking, photography, and lifestyle in general. Today we're going to talk about, probably you already know based on the intro, how to make any intro cinematic. Keep in mind that these 5 things that I'm going to be talking about in this video can be used for any video sequence. It's basically a framework that I try to use and try to incorporate every time that I'm trying to put something together that I want people to remember, because there is a specific type of content that we make for the sake of just, following a trend or just having fun with something. But sometimes we put a lot of time and effort into something. I'll call them masterpieces, like when you literally put your soul into something. This video is basically going to be me yapping a lot about all these 5 things, and hopefully you enjoy it. And without further ado, let's just jump right into the first thing. I have my notes right here. The first thing will be the message. That's going to define if the audience that you have in your mind is going to be interested or not. You can make something very conceptual or conceptualize something. I don't know if that's the way of saying that. For example, on the intro that I did for this specific video, I was not trying to be very explicit in showing you what I was going to talk about, but I wanted to tell you what was going to be at the very end of the intro, right? And I feel that that's part of the message. You have to craft something that kind of like tells itself, and you can use a lot of different things. So for example, I created a sequence of like me waking up and my morning routine and stuff like that, and that was the storyline that was going to drive the message across of like becoming an intro. In essence, that whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense. Like the whole intro that I did, in my opinion, I could be wrong, let me know in the comments what you think, doesn't make a lot of sense if you take the context out. And the context is basically like the voiceover that I put, pretty much, like I was like, oh, trying to like spark curiosity. Oh my God, my English is so bad. You need to try to spark curiosity, create a sequence that can be literally anything, something that gives the viewer a perspective on what they should be expecting. And YouTube is very interesting to test that thing out because you can drive a lot of attention with the thumbnails and with the titles, and like as soon as you click on this video, you kind of like had an idea of what you were going to expect. Because let's say if I start making this video just yapping, just let's say forget about the whole intro, at some point the viewers get bored. If you put something together at the very beginning and then you talk about it, it's really a good way to do it. That's the whole idea behind this video, and I think I went a little bit deeper than I intended to based on my notes, but I'm just trying to give you a lot of context so when we move forward with the other 4 things, you have more information. So let's move into the next thing, which will be the sequence. And I'm so sorry for the mess, but our apartment is being remodeled and redone, and that's also one of the main reasons why I haven't been as active as usual on Instagram, just because my office is not my office anymore, and this is how all the space looks like. It is stressful. If you're in the same situation, tell me something in the comments that will make me feel better, because I'm losing my shit. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be talking about the stuff. The next thing is the sequence. I don't know why I hold it up, like you can see what I have in there. To have something very good as a sequence, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The reason I say that is because while I was recording the intro and after I have the message that I wanted to convey, and it's basically what we talked earlier, I was overthinking it a lot in order for it to make sense while I try to explain my message, right? Once you have a sequence or an idea, I will strongly suggest to go with the first one that you get, because the first one that you get, it's usually the one that you're most excited about. That's my case. That's what happens with me. Probably your case is something different, but I wanted to let that out there, because the sequence is basically going to be the compound of clips that you put together that drive the message forward. When you're just practicing this exercise or practicing these 5 things that I'm explaining in this video, it's good to start off with a sequence of some activities that you do throughout the day and then build the message around that. Putting the sequence together looks something like this in my case, and I'm gonna literally read it out of my notes. So my shot list was like waking up, brushing my teeth, making coffee, playing music, cleaning the kitchen, working out, and doing laundry. And literally I put all the shots that I wanted to get in that sequence. And a good rule that I use for this in the intro, getting 3 shots, a wide, medium, and detail shot of every activity in order for it to have some context. For some other shots, I went a little bit overboard, not overboard, I went a little bit extra just because I was feeling it in the moment, and I like to let that creative energy flow through me when it's happening. And if you know what I'm saying. Once you have a message and you create a sequence, or you have an idea of the sequence that is going to drive the message, you are ready to move into the next thing. So let's just jump right onto it. I keep trying to say that, but I'm having a hard time. Vamos allá, that's it. Well, the other thing that you need to keep in mind, it's music. Music is what drives a feeling. And in order for you to drive a feeling, because feelings are the things that people remember the most when they're watching something. And with music, I will also say sound effects. And the part of the intro where the needle of the record player was going down, I use heavy ambient noise to enhance the feeling that I was trying to convey at that moment. Music, I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but you need to incorporate as much music and as much variety as you want. And it's also good to break the wall. At the very beginning, I use a very mysterious type of music. I switch to an 80s vibe. I feel that that was what I was trying to do, but you saw that how that switch make a big impact in how you perceive the film. Hopefully that's what it did. Message, sequence, music. Let's go to the next thing. The 4th thing that you need to worry about when you're making an intro, text and titles. For the intro that I did at the beginning, I tried to use the time to set a time frame. The message was driven by the sequence, and the sequence had music, and the music had a text and titles that was driving your attention. And also, like, text on the screen helps a lot to keep viewers' attention. Let's say that you have your message that you want to get across. You have a very specific idea in terms of the sequence. Now you know the music that you're going to use to drive that message through the sequence. And then in order for you to enhance the visuals, now you have text and titles that could be time, a place, that could be anything, but it adds so much to an intro. I feel that the more you pack an intro with a lot of those different categories of things, the more likely is for people to remember it. Also, there's something that I almost forgot to say. When you add text and titles, you need to do sound effects to them, because it's not the same. The time at when you were watching the intro wouldn't have the same impact of the clock beeping like beep 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 without the sound effects. If I would have just put the time in there, that wouldn't make as much as an impact to keep you, how would I say this? To keep you entertained in a sense, and to make you understand that there was more times coming in. Last but not least, color grading. It can get overwhelming when you try to do a lot of different nodes, but at the end of the day, all you need, honestly, are 3 nodes. Color space transform, the white balance, and the curve, I do it in the same. And then now DaVinci on the new update has a film look or film look generator, and if you drag that into the node, you basically get a very beautiful look. The bonus will be getting a reference. I've been watching Lost, the show Lost, so I started watching it recently, and there is a scene that hopefully some of you will remember. It's like the first time that Desmond appears in the island, but like underneath, right? There is a very nice sequence that he's like having his morning routine or whatever. That scene stuck with me because it had all of these things minus the text and titles, because the story was driven to showcase something different at that point. Take a reference for something that stuck in your head. But this is the end of this video, and I hope that you find something of value here. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Subscribe, like, you know what to do. Peace. Oh, what was that? I was gonna fall there.